The man who played the most powerful vampire in New Orleans used to tell school bullies he was a real vampire as a child, just to feel less like an outsider. Klaus Mikaelson was not just a character, he was a coping mechanism, and the real life of the actor behind him is more interesting than any hybrid ever born. The originals premiered on the CW on October 3, 2013. It was a spin-off of the Vampire Diaries, following the original vampire family, the Mikaelsons, as they returned to New Orleans, the city they had helped build centuries earlier, to reclaim it from the witches, werewolves, and factions that had taken control in their absence. It ran for 5 seasons and 92 episodes, ending on August 1, 2018. The cast it assembled was one of the most talented ever put together for a supernatural drama, and the real lives of the people behind those characters include marriages, divorces, unexpected career turns, and personal stories as dramatic as anything that ever happened in the French Quarter. Joseph Morgan played Niklaus Mikaelson, Klaus, the original hybrid, the most feared, most powerful, most emotionally tortured character in the entire Vampire Diaries universe. He was first introduced on the Vampire Diaries in Season 2 before the originals gave him his own show. And Joseph Morgan's real life has some genuinely surprising layers beneath the performance. He was born Joseph Martin on May 16, 1981 in London, England. He is 44 years old. He trained at the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama, one of the most respected drama schools in the United States Kingdom. And he has said in interviews that when he was a child being bullied at school, he would tell his bullies that he was a real vampire, not as a joke, as a genuine psychological coping mechanism. He said the idea of being an outsider for a dark, powerful reason was more comfortable than simply being an outsider with no reason at all. He has been essentially preparing to play Klaus Mikaelson since childhood. He met his wife on the set of The Vampire Diaries, not the originals. Her name is Persia White, and she played Abby Bennett Wilson in The Vampire Diaries. She is born on October 25, 1972, which makes her 9 years older than Joseph. They started dating in 2011, married in a private ceremony in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, on July 5, 2014. Joseph adopted her daughter and had her name legally changed to Mecca Morgan White. They run a business together called Morgan White Productions, selling Klaus-inspired merchandise including daylight rings. The most powerful vampire in New Orleans is a married family man who sells replica vampire jewelry online. That detail is perfect. After the originals, he played Brother Blood in the HBO Max series Titans, appeared in the Peacock series Brave New World, and starred as James Ackerson in Season 2 of the Paramount Plus series Halo in 2024. Danielle Gillies played Elijah Mikaelson, the noble, always suited, always composed older brother who valued honor above almost everything else and was the moral anchor of a family that desperately needed one. He was born on March 14, 1976, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. He is 50 years old. He is a Canadian-born New Zealand actor who also writes, directs, and produces. And here is the personal story behind Danielle Gillies that most fans did not know was happening during the originals years. He was married to actress Rachel Lee Cook, the star of She's All That, from 2004 until their divorce in 2021. They have 2 children together. The man playing the most honorable, most composed character in a vampire family was going through a real-life marriage breakdown for years, while Elijah was on screen delivering speeches about integrity and always being in a suit. After the originals, he has continued acting in various projects and has been increasingly involved in writing and directing. He returned briefly as Elijah in the Legacies series. His personal life has remained largely private since the divorce was finalized. Charles Michael Davis played Marcel Gerard, the charismatic, powerful leader of New Orleans who had been raised by Klaus himself and became the city's king before the Mikaelsons returned to reclaim it. He was born on December 1, 1981, in Dayton, Ohio. He is 44 years old. After the originals, Charles kept working consistently. He starred in the TV Land series Younger alongside Sutton Foster from 2017 to 2021, playing Zane Anders. He appeared on NSYS, New Orleans as Special Agent Quentin Carter. In 2026, he appears in a recurring role in The Rookie on ABC as Dr. Oliver Ashton. He is currently in a relationship with Jenna Rosenau, which became public in 2023. And here is an interesting personal detail about Charles Michael Davis. He is a trained martial artist and former model before he became an actor. Before Hollywood cast him, he walked runways and appeared in advertisements. The King of New Orleans started his career on catwalks. Phoebe Tonkin played played Haley Marshall, the werewolf who became the mother of Klaus's daughter Holt, and one of the most important characters in the show's 5-season run. She was born on July 12, 1989 in Sydney, Australia. She is 36 years old, and her real-life story during the originals years is the one that generated the most fan attention because she was in a real relationship with her co-star Paul Wesley, who played Stefan Salvatore on The Vampire Diaries. They started dating in 2013, while both were actively filming in the TVD universe. They were one of the most talked about real couples in that entire fandom. They dated for 4 years and broke up in 2017. After the originals, Phoebe has worked in various film and television projects. She has been open about her life in Sydney, Australia, where she spends significant time away from Hollywood. Her relationship with Paul Wesley ended before he married actress Inés de Ramón in 2019, and that marriage itself later ended in divorce in 2022, after which Inés de Ramón began dating Brad Pitt. A love chain that starts with Phoebe Tonkin and ends with Brad Pitt is not something anyone predicted. Danielle Campbell played Davina Clare, the extraordinarily powerful young witch who became one of the most beloved characters in the show's early seasons. She was born on January 30, 1995 in Hinsdale, Illinois. She is 31 years old. Her romantic history is one of the most interesting in this entire cast. She dated actor Tyler Posey in 2015. She then dated Louis Tomlinson. Yes, that Louis Tomlinson, from One Direction, from November 2015 to December 2016. She then dated her Originals co-star Nathaniel Buzolic in 2017. And then she started dating another Originals co-star, Colin Woodell, who played Alistair Duquesne on the show. They got engaged in August 2023. They married on September 13, 2025. Danielle Campbell dated a One Direction member and 2 of her own co-stars, and ended up marrying the second co-star. If Davina Clare had that kind of romantic storyline on the originals, fans would have called it unrealistic. Leah Pipes played Camille O'Connell, the human psychology student who became one of Klaus's most important connections and one of the show's most emotionally resonant characters. She was born on August 12, 1988 in Los Angeles, California. She is 37 years old. She had a previous marriage to actor AJ Trouth from 2014 to 2019, which ended in divorce. And then, in 2025, she remarried, this time to Icelandic visual artist Halldór Ragnarsson, a Los Angeles actress who played a New Orleans bartender and psychology student on a vampire drama, married an Icelandic visual artist. That is a very specific and very wonderful set of life circumstances. 3 facts. First, Joseph Morgan told school bullies he was a real vampire as a child, just to feel less like an outsider. He then spent 7 years playing the most powerful vampire on television. Second, Danielle Campbell dated Louis Tomlinson from One Direction, then 2 separate co-stars from the originals, and married the second co-star in 2025. Third, Daniel Gillies, who played the always composed, always honorable Elijah Mikaelson, was going through a real divorce from Rachel Lee Cook during the years he was delivering speeches about integrity on screen, most composed character in the show, played by someone whose personal life was falling apart behind the scenes. So that is the originals cast, real ages and life partners. Joseph Morgan is 44, married his co-star from The Vampire Diaries, who is 9 years older than him, adopted her daughter, and now sells Klaus-inspired daylight rings online. Divorced Rachel Lee Cook after 17 years while playing the most honorable character on television. Charles Michael Davis went from fashion model to Marcel Gerard to a 2026 recurring role on The Rookie. Phoebe Tonkin dated Paul Wesley for 4 years, and Paul Wesley's next marriage ended in a divorce that led to his ex-wife dating Brad Pitt. And Danielle Campbell dated a member of One Direction and 2 of her own co-stars, then married the second co-star in 2025. The Originals was always a show about family. Complicated, messy, loyal, impossible family. And the real families and relationships built by this cast are every bit as complicated as the Mikaelsons themselves. Which cast member's real story surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. And subscribe for more videos like this every week. The next one is already ready. See you there.